What about Doc Rivers? I keep pointing out Doc Rivers and Vinny Del Negro. Same amount of wins, getting bounced in the same round. But y'all love Doc. You know, he's a black coach. We gotta love everything that's like us, apparently. Nah, man. Nah, be objective and understand and just watch sports for sports. Like, you ain't gotta always inject, you know, here's my spade right here, the ace card. Bang. That probably shouldn't have been said together. Spade. But whatever, dude. Whatever. Now, to Steve, and by the way, Mark Jackson handled himself exactly like what he is and what he's being paid to be, a pro.
Yeah, he
An
did.
absolute freaking pro. So all you dudes that was like, oh, this has got to be one of the most uncomfortable. Come on, man. First of all, this team was the favorite. So if you're Mark Jackson and you're not prepared for this team to win a championship, you're a fool. And I don't believe Mark Jackson to be that. Yeah. The overwhelming chances of them winning the championship were high. Were very high, especially when you are sitting courtside and you watch Kyrie Irving walk off the court, stripping his clothes off because he's that pissed off at being hurt, and you know it's over for him. Yeah, it's a wrap. Series over at that moment. You guys can have your Dellavedova story all you want to. I knew at that moment, done. Didn't know how many games because obviously 23's on the court. Not Draymond, who, by the way, triple-doubled him last night as well. Can't let that ride. 16, 11, and 10 for Draymond. You know, who my man was asleep the first two games. I came on the air every day. What the hell is going on with Draymond? He can't buy a bucket. He can't stop nobody. Tristan Thompson is wrecking his world on the glass. Everything that Draymond does well, he was doing bad in the first two games. And then Mama and Grandma came to the party. It's like, Draymond, stop being a punk. Play ball. And for whatever it's worth, he showed up. He showed up and balled. Now to Steve Kerr. Funny thing, Steve Kerr has an exchange. I don't know if you guys saw this with Bill Russell, and Steve Kerr tells Bill Russell, "Oh, we only got to get 9, 10 more to match you." Steve, you have 6. Did you forget? Yeah, maybe these other dudes got all of them to catch Bill. You've got 6, Steve. That's one of the illest things in the history of the world. This dude, Steve effing Kerr. Here's another thing that you guys are gonna need for Sports Jeopardy. I don't remember the year, but Steve Kerr led college basketball in scoring while he was at Arizona.
Right.
That is pure gold right there. That's a nugget, cuz. So if you guys ever go on Sports Jeopardy, you got to figure out what year. I don't remember what year it was. 80-something. Steve effing Kerr led the nation in scoring. Yeah. Get that. Wrap that up. Like, just put that in your mouth and swirl it around a little bit like a fine wine and just spit it out. I just want you to taste it. Don't drink it because you're going to get drunk off that knowledge. All right. We talked about Steve Kerr and proving himself as a coach, the adjustments he made throughout the playoffs, the lineup adjustments, the things that he had the foresight to implore upon his team. Like when he told them, don't worry about what's happening right now. They only got 7 dudes. We got like 9 or 10. They're going to get tired. We're going to win this ball game. Just keep playing. This is the first quarter of game 4. And what happened? Exactly what he said. Not part of it, not just the part that they won. Yeah, they wore these dudes. They ran them to death. And everybody was gassed. Dellavedova's in the hospital. LeBron's getting IVs. They ran these dudes to death. It made the man get off coffee. All this kind of stuff happened off of that. The fact that Andre Iguodala is starting. We're gonna force them to play our ball. Not, as he was doing in the earlier series, kind of just using the small lineup as a changeup. It's like fastball. Let's come with the changeup now. Nah, from the jump, we're going small. Everyone's crashing the board, even our guards. We're gonna get rebounds and we're gonna run. Get these dudes scrambling in transition to try to find guys in the cross matches and bust they butt with threes and layups. And it happened. The other thing that happened last night, and the whatever it is that he's done to this team to just make them believe in him. You heard Steph Curry talk about it a few seconds ago. Whatever he's done, they do, because dudes don't hang. Festus Ezeli, 2 games ago, had a DNP. What did Festus Ezeli do last night, Rob?
He had a great game.
Balled.
He had a good game. Yeah.
Balled. And not even the fact that he balled, but with energy. Like, he went out there dragging, like, oh, see, now they want to play me now. No, he came out there and did his thing.
Everybody that touched the court did. I mean, because you had, what's the blur? What's his name?
Andrew Barbosa.
Yeah, you had Barbosa. He came in, got him some buckets real quick. You know, Ezeli came in, got him some. Harrison Barnes got him some from, inside and outside. I mean, everybody that was out on the court for Golden State last night.
And that starts. I think that starts with the head, man. Like, two dudes. I think I'm gonna attribute to this: Andre Iguodala and Steph Curry. Two dudes that play ball without any ego. You know what I mean? So when guys are asked to do something, like after you ask a former All-Star in Andre Iguodala to sit down, and he does it, everybody else got to shut up. Like, even David Lee. David Lee was a former All-Star, 20-10 guy under Mark Jackson. He's like, nah, I know you got hurt, but you about to lose your job to injury because this kid, Draymond Green, is better. And he was like, bet, cool. So now the story is that the Warriors are going to help David Lee find himself a landing place. And this is one of those things that kind of points at the Hawks' direction. If we can introduce them into the story for just a second here, because David Lee is a 4. Paul Millsap, the guy who could be walking out the door this offseason, is as well. Former All-Star, current All-Star. I don't know that you necessarily lose a lot if you get this dude, because I know that the Hawks were said to have possibly have Shelvin Mack on the block, the trading block there. They're happy to know that his shoulder surgery, obviously went successfly, but that it'll be a full recovery as well. So he's, because of the emergence of Dennis Schroeder, he's a tradable asset. That and a pick, by all means, will get you David Lee. Now, I don't know if Atlanta Hawks fans, if that's the dude that you could see yourself, partying with, but for what it's worth, I don't see these dudes as that different of a guy, David Lee and Paul Millsap. I think David Lee's actually younger than Paul Millsap. So just to introduce the Hawks into the scenario for just a second, I thought I had. But also David Lee's going to be very instrumental in re-signing Draymond, because they got to get him out the door to free up some money to get Draymond Green signed. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be a kind of a game of those little peg games you play. You take one peg out, put another peg in, and try to make it work to get your guys back, especially Draymond. I mean, he's the heart and soul, man. Like, I know the most respected guy, he said it himself, is Andre Iguodala, but I still think the dude that makes the engine go. When Draymond's on, everybody's ready to rock. And we've seen in game 1 and 2 of this series, when he's not, it just looks bad. Everything looks out of whack and discombobulated. So I talked about Steve Kerr and I got Festus Ezeli getting run last night after, again, a DNP. If anybody had a reason to kind of hang their head a little bit, it would have been him. But nah, man, the dude went out there and did his job. He was a professional about the situation.
Andrew Bogut didn't get no run.
Yeah, exactly. And you see him on the plane with them saying, "I'm in love with Coco." He's getting it up with everybody else. Steve Kerr, took what was already a family atmosphere and challenged guys to be professionals, man. Understand that you're not guaranteed anything. The best dudes are going to play, and the dudes that give this team the best chance to win the ultimate prize are going to play. Everybody bought in, seemingly, and they won. So back to the whole, LeBron didn't do enough, he's not the greatest player because they lost. No, he had a bad team, and they had a good team, a very good team. And that's what ended up happening. That's how this series should be remembered forever and ever and ever. One guy versus basically 9 dudes. If you want to boil it down to numbers, it was like 1 on 9. And what happened. This is why I picked him. I know everyone wanted to see the story. That happy ending, that storybook ending. LeBron goes back to Cleveland. He writes this emotional letter. He tells the people, be patient, but I'm going to work my butt off to get you there. It may not be this year, and it happened to be this year, and then they win it. Like, that's the storybook ending. I personally don't believe life works out that way. I take and I trust what I see. One team has up to 9 dudes that are healthy. The other team has 1, and at the time a half, because Kyrie was still limping at that time anyway with the foot and the tendonitis. Well,
one thing's for sure. Steph got to take the trophy, got the Acri before LeBron. So
that meme came out too.
Yeah.
Couple of things. I wanted to actually get to this. We got like 4 minutes. Man, there's so many things staring at me right now. Okay, let's do this. And then, yeah, that whole Charles Barkley thing, forget about it. I had a chart came out and everything, so I was going to get nerdy on you dudes for a minute, but forget that. Now, the conversation's being brought about again. Have the Warriors kind of changed the dynamic of what championship basketball looks like? Is it now it's going to be more team than people trying to build their big threes? And you remember a couple years ago, like way back when LeBron and them did it, you remember how pissed you were about it, dude? You like, I can't stand these dudes getting together, trying to steal these championships. And what I tell you, calm down, because everything always is going to revert to the mean. And then we saw what happened in that first year, right? There were 3 dudes, but then they went up against a team that was hungry, and a team full of veterans. This one, Sean Marion was good, and Dirk, and the Jet, and they had the little Puerto Rican kid, the backup point guard.
J.J. Barrera.
Right, they had Tyson Chandler. They had a nice mix, right? And then they ended up beating that big 3 team because it was hard to find role players in that first year. And LeBron had a terrible season. Like, he was deferring to Dwayne Wade too much, if you ask me, and not being the guy he should have been, like he was, maybe not to the extent he was in this series, but being more assertive, right? But then they got it together. Took 2 in a row, but then ran into a team again. Well, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that makes me sound ignorant, because it's almost like the Spurs don't have 3 Hall of Famers on that squad. You know what I mean? Like, we always want to play that team thing with the Spurs, but forget, they got the greatest power forward of all time, maybe.
Yeah, when that first matchup versus the Spurs, I mean, dude, it was just one of those a true momentum swing type deal.
Yeah.
Because remember they had started bringing the trophy down. They had started roping off the court and everything.
Yeah, one bounce.
And that was it.
Yeah, one bounce. So, to have the conversation now, well, is it now more about the team? Slow down, people. Slow down. Remember, Kevin Love, DNP, Kyrie Irving, 4 quarters? You got hurt in overtime, right? So you got 4 quarters in the series. In the series, slow down, because I still believe in my heart of hearts. I believe at the beginning of the series, if you give me both of those guys with LeBron, we're looking at a 7-game series, and it's truly at that point a coin flip. It's a coin flip. Somebody might pick the Warriors. Somebody might pick the Cavaliers. And no pick can be definitively wrong if both teams are at full strength, in my opinion. You feel me? So before we get into this conversation now about, well, maybe this whole Big 3 era is over. You know what I'm always take, Rob? Talent. Every time. You know what I mean? If I can get 3/5 of the guys on my court to be better than your team, that is probably 8-9 deep, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Give me the 3 All-Stars, not the Hawks All-Stars. No disrespect, but like the 3, those guys, the All NBA guys.
Yeah.
Let's not call give me the 3 All NBA guys, whether you made first, second, or third team.
4 All-Stars, didn't it? Yeah, the Hawks had 4
right.
All-Stars.
Right. So give me the All NBA guys. If you made the first All NBA team, second All NBA team, whatever, give me one of those dudes. Let's skip the All-Star talk, because that's, as we just pointed out, ridiculous. If you give me 3 of those dudes, I'll take my chances. You feel me? I'll take my chances, because the mold is broken too with this, because Steph Curry is such a badass. This ain't no this is not like Steph Curry ain't Chauncey Billups. If you want to look at teams who, these teams, right? Chauncey Billups was probably the leader of that Pistons team. Steph Curry ain't that. He's better than that. You know what I mean? And Chauncey Billups ain't no slouch now. He ain't that, but
he ain't. Yeah,
he ain't the mixtape, cuz that ain't happening.
He ain't that. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I feel good. I feel all right about this show. I feel decent. Sports Kings Live. Don't forget, you guys can also